Hello, welcome to the video. Today, I wanted to give you 3 tips on becoming a better painter. Now, this is for beginners because I am certainly no expert. I paint to what I consider a nice tabletop quality for most of my miniatures. So, I think that these 3 tips may help somebody that's just beginning to paint, maybe looking for a little more confidence in how they paint. But I hope that you'll stick around and I hope that these will help. Now, my first tip is to keep it simple. Whenever you're painting, you'll see in a lot of my videos, I really only use 3 steps when painting a miniature. I do a simple base coat for all of the base colors. I do a dark wash, and then I do some highlighting. And the first step with doing a base coat for your base colors is that you just want to pick out the larger areas. Just put down a nice even coat on all of these areas. Um, you don't have to get real into the details. You can be a little sloppy. It's okay because as you do a wash and you do your highlighting, it's going to fix a lot of these. It's going to hide a lot of them. So don't be afraid to just go in there and start painting. But again, I think the most important part here is to put down light layers. If you go too heavy on it, it will chunk up the model and it's going to give you some trouble down the end. No matter how many washes you put on it, it's not going to hide that. But if you just put some nice thin layers on, you can go get through this. Now, the second part of this is putting in a wash. I know a lot of painters don't, or they're very targeted with where they put the washes, and that's okay. That's a good way to do it. But a lot of my models, I like the darker look to them, more like a grungier look, I guess. So I'll put down a dark wash on most of the model, if not all of it. It depends, on what you're looking for. But this wash, when it dries, and you don't want to like dunk the miniature in these washes, you want to just put down a nice coat on there and get it into all of the recesses. But this first wash, it will hide a lot of your mistakes, and it'll help blend the model together. Because the base coat's going to look really ugly. Whenever you just put down your base colors, it's not going to look good. And this may cause some people to lose faith in the miniature right away because you look at it, it's not coming out how you want right away. You get frustrated and you stop right there. But with a wash on top of it, it's going to kind of tone down some of the bright base colors, bring them all together. And it's certainly not something that you need a lot of talent to just throw a wash on top of your miniature. Now, the third part of it is when it completely dries, then you want to go in and highlight. Now, depending on the wash, you could probably stop right here and have a good looking miniature to put on tabletop. As I said, we're not winning any awards. We just want something decent looking on the table. So it depends on what you're going to use it for here, whether or not you want to highlight. But if you want to highlight, now it's up to you with how far you want to go with it. You can put a simple highlight on each color. You can put 3, 4, 5 layers of highlights on. I see plenty of people doing that. Usually I can say maybe 2 layers of highlighting is more than enough to really bring back those bright colors to make them all stand out. But yeah, that's my way of kind of keeping it simple when I paint, especially for if I have squads to paint, to just go along, slap on the base coats, I do the washes, and then simple highlighting. And at the end of the day, if you're just playing with the miniatures, they're going to look good. It's going to be impressive to have them on the table. So as I said, that's my first tip: is just kind of keep it simple. Don't overthink it. Like you got to do all this blending. If you're capable of doing it, yeah, it's going to really make the model come out great. But if you're just starting off, keep it simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You don't have to use all these fancy techniques for it and such. and you'll still end up with a decent looking model. So, just have fun with it. Don't go crazy. Now, my second tip is eyes. I even struggle with eyes. I see a lot of decent looking miniatures that people will post, and the eyes ruin the model because they tried to do the eyes too fancy. So, my tip for doing eyes better is don't do them. It sounds weird, but you take when the mini's on the table and you're playing with it and it's at an arm's distance, if you took that into perspective of a real person at that distance, at that size, you're not going to see the whites of their eyes, pupils, and all of that. So, a lot of times you can just get away with doing a dark shading in where the eyes are. You don't have to put the whites and then try to put the dots in because you end up with the googly eyes and they end up too big, they're kind of sloppy. So a lot of times on models, you don't have to paint the eyes at all. And there you go, it solves your problem. I know a lot on mine, if I don't have to do the whites and the dots, and I'll just paint like a solid color or just leave them dark, like they're in the shadow. Because something at that distance, you're not going to see all that detail in their eyes anyway. So that's my tip to help you out with some of the with doing eyes, because I know eyes can be really tough. Just getting them to look straight and look natural, it's extremely difficult. And probably my third and final tip is don't compare yourself with other people. I know it's difficult. You watch the videos, and there are some amazing artists out there online. And if you compare yourself with them, and especially if you're just starting out, I mean, even me, I've been painting for years. I get nowhere close to what some of these other people can do. I mean, what they are able to do with these miniatures is simply amazing, but it's also deceiving. You're watching a YouTube video and these guys are just slapping them together. They're putting on washes, they're blending, they're putting on the layers. But what it doesn't show you is how many hours some of these models take to do. I simply have too many miniatures going on that I can't spend 2, 3 solid days on one miniature. Now, if it's a centerpiece model, I take a little more time on that. But for your rank and file, I mean, I'm not entering mine into any painting contests or anything. I just want decent looking miniatures to play with. So that's one big thing, is just have fun with it. Don't compare yourself to the other person painting, because there's always going to be somebody better. I mean, no matter how good you get, you're always going to find somebody that's better than what you can do on painting. And it does nothing but make you feel bad about it. So be proud of what you're painting. Just be realistic with the expectations. And as I said, if you keep things simple as you're painting, and if you're going for a tabletop quality, it's not that bad. As I said, I try not to compare. I appreciate and I admire people that can put this time and effort into these models. And I mean, they look fantastic. But it's just something that I can't do. I don't even know if I put that much time into it, if I could achieve even half of what they do. But, I still enjoy painting. You don't want to hate the process of it because you can't get to this level. You want to be able to enjoy it at least. And there's nothing better than actually painting something up to a decent quality. You take it to, your group that you're playing with, and somebody gives you a compliment. Or you post it online. And the community, really, I gotta say, is fantastic. Most of the time, if I post anything on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I get a slew of compliments on them, even though, I know where every mistake is, and to me, they don't look that great. But the community is just so supportive, in my opinion, that everybody just they give you compliments. They tell you what you did right with it. But yeah, I mean, I think the painting community has been awesome. So again, as I said, I hope that you'll just keep enjoying what you're doing. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing or what they're capable of doing. Maybe you'll get there someday, but it's okay. It's fine as long as you're still having fun. So I hope that these tips help a little bit. Let me know if they do. Maybe I'll throw some more in of things that I've learned over the years from painting. I've painted thousands of miniatures for over 20 some years I've been painting. As I said, I'm no expert. I don't claim to be, but I hope that I'm able to encourage somebody or inspire somebody to either begin painting or keep painting. So, either way, I hope that this helps. I hope that it inspires you to get started or to continue what you're doing. And let me know if you like this. I will try to post some more. So, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.